Okay, I'm going to go over the final exam. It is due by 11:30 p.m. So you're going to want to, when you're ready, click on the final exam. You've got 4 hours and 1 attempt. Hit attempt quiz now, start attempt. And it's I don't think it's a very difficult final exam. It's mostly reading comprehension. So you are going to read a passage and then decide if the statements below are true or false. If it's true, like Erika tiene mucho tiempo libre, if that is what you found to be true from this passage, you'd write an A. If that's not true, then you'd write a B. And that's how you do the first one. Here it says, ayer a la universidad. You're going to do the same thing here. You're going to do the same thing here. You're going to read this passage, decide if the statements are true or false. If it's true, write an A. If it's false, write a B. The same thing here. The same thing here. The same thing here. Sorry, I sound like a broken record. Same thing here. Same here. This one's a little different. This one says, read Javi's description of the summer vacations he spent with his family when he was younger. As he describes them, he recalls a specific memory from one of their trips. Complete each sentence below with the correct answer based on the information that you read. I should change that to read, because you'll read through this and then you'll say, en el centro de Caracas hay atracciones turísticas, los hoteles de lujo son caros, no hay mucho tráfico. So whichever of these makes the first part of the statement true is what you'll pick. So if there are atracciones turísticas, you would write an A. If there are hoteles de lujo que son caros, you would write a B, and so on and so forth. And you would figure that out by reading this passage above. Here it's just true and false again. So you'll read this dialogue, you'll read the statements below. If Ramon y Julián son hermanos, if that's true, you'd write an A. If it's false, you'd write a B. Okay, here, so it says Mariela is living alone for the first time and needs some advice. Read over each situation carefully, then choose the most logical command. So these are the situations. After you read this passage, you would decide si debe ella vivir cerca de la universidad. If that's your advice, viva cerca de la universidad, you'd write an A. If you say no viva cerca de la universidad, you'd write a B. So remember, it's not what's true, it's the advice that you're giving to the person. Then down here, you'll read these statements and decide if they are lógico o ilógico. If they're lógico, you'd write an A. If they are ilógico, you would write a B. Then down here, you are going to do a listening passage, and the video is the same for both 14 and 15, so you don't need to repeat it. This is a YouTube version of it. This is actually the better video, just in case it doesn't open for you. Then you will want to watch the one in YouTube, but hopefully this one will open. I just know in the past I've had some people have trouble with it opening. Remember, you can put on your closed captions and you'll watch the video. And then you will answer the questions. It says, ¿qué servicios le ofrece Albania a sus clientes en su agencia de viajes? Les ofrece reservaciones de, what does she offer reservations of? That's what you'll fill in there. And a qué países latinoamericanos viajan mayormente los clientes de Albania y Fernando? And again, that's based on what is said in this video, and you'll write them here. This goes to the same video. It's linked again, but it's the exact same video. So after you've watched it once, you don't necessarily need to, once you're done watching it, you can be done watching it. But it says, a Edgar Osvaldo le gusta vivir en la ciudad de Nueva York por, and you say why. You know, you could write A, B, C, A, B, or C. Según Lorena, Chile es un país montañoso, caloroso, pequeño. You pick which one does she say. And that's what you would do for this section. Then you have your fable, okay? So what you're going to want to do where your fable is concerned is you would want to, maybe even before you start your test, I suggest that you, what you'll see right above, it's now in a different week, so let me, I think it's all the way up here. You should see this final exam prep right above the final exam. Okay, and so what you'd want to do is click on that final exam prep, and then you would want to, hold on. Sorry, I was in the wrong view. So when you click on that final exam prep, it's going to say closed, and you should see something like your submission. Of course, I don't have that because I didn't have a submission, but you should be able to click on your submission, and then you would see a critique. Look for the one that says the assessed by Jennifer Ray or critiqued by Jennifer Ray. And then you'll want to copy that, and notice how I've used this symbol sheet to make some changes. So you are going to want to take your fable, maybe put it in a Word document, okay? And you're going to want to open up that symbol sheet, and that symbol sheet is going to give you, I mean, you've done this before. It's going to give you, tell you what you're doing wrong, and it's going to tell you what pages in your book to go to fix it. So for example, this person had colgaba imperfect ellos, so they have the right form, but they didn't have it conjugated for the right subject. It should be for ellos, so I'm going to make that colgaban. And maybe the other stuff is alright. So they looked pretty good. So they already fixed, they've already fixed the problem. Like you may have more than one problem, so you'll make sure you fix all that, and then you would just copy it once it's been fixed, and you'll go back into your test, and then you just paste it in there. Whoops. Okay, for some reason it's telling me that I cannot paste. I'm not exactly sure why, or if that's going to show up with you guys. If it won't let you paste, then you're going to have to retype it, but you at least have it already written out. So you're either going to retype it or paste it, or I wonder if you could. I mean, I would like it put in here. That would be the best thing. But you might even be able to, like, if for some reason it won't let you paste, if you put it in a Word document and like saved it in your Google Drive, then you could put a hyperlink to it. But I would prefer it written in here if that's at all possible. Which is looking funky. Not sure why it won't let me. But anyway. So that is how you would do your final exam. And hopefully if you have any other questions, then just reach out to me.